Okay, so here's a quick walk round of my 1999 Jeep Cherokee 4-litre auto. Gets quite a lot of abuse because it's used all the time. So, and here I am at Tick Hill. It's lovely and busy again. So as soon as I bought it, I put a 4.5-inch lift long arm suspension on it. So instead of it being fastened there, the arms are now fastened on there, which gives a lot more flex on. Then underneath there also we got the drop down trap bar to keep the steering geometry where it should be. So because of all the lift, cut the arches out, then hammered the lip here so that it doesn't dig in the tyres. So I've moved the wing repeaters up on this side at first, so I'm going to cut out these even more, and then one of the future jobs on it will be rock sliders and an external roll cage, which will then tie in with all the wheel arches. So on the front, got a winch bumper, steel, welded onto the chassis along here and here, so that if I ever need to take this off, put it on another motor, I can just cut the welds off, and it's got all the high tensile bolts holding it all as well. So literally you could pick this up by the front bumper and it'd still be okay. Got the usual LED headlights, Winch Max winch, £13,500 winch, and it's absolutely amazing. Whenever I want it, I can just knock it onto freewheel and it always pulls out. Absolutely mint motor. CB as usual. LED headlights. Then the rear arches, we've cut them out as well, folding them over. Again, I will be adding the arches with the external roll cage. Then on the back, the normal lights, they got broke quite quickly and they're quite expensive to replace. So what I did is replaced them with trailer lights, built them out again so that they do come flush, and then added some heavy duty aluminium guards, which have saved these lights quite a lot. Homemade rear bumper made out of 4x2 steel, and then it's got recovery points on here, and then inside there's actually what do you call it, big round chunks of metal welded on the inside so it doesn't flex on the inside. And it's got a hitch receiver there. I haven't added electrics to it yet, but I shall do. Okay, onto the front axle, standard Dana 35, but it has had some modifications. So it's been strengthened here where the arm meets, then where both the both the lower arm meets, strengthened there as well on both sides, with a gap there obviously so the arms can move. Uprated steering damper as well. Everything else pretty much on the front is standard. Oh, the steering track arm bracket, that's been welded on as well because that did split away a bit from the chassis, so again that's been strengthened. But as far as the front axle goes, it's got an upgraded trap bar as well that comes with the 4.5-inch lift. Yeah, that's it for the front axle. At the moment I've only got these tyres on because I've still got the standard drive shafts in, so the tyres aren't that aggressive. I still get most places, but once I get chrome alloy shafts in, then the tyres will be going more aggressive, so that will help out a lot as well. So yeah, standard axle shafts, Dana 44 on the back, Dana 30 on the front, but the axle casing has been strengthened up. It hasn't been trussed, but again that's something I might do in the future anyway. Okay, onto the back axle. So this is not the standard axle for this particular Jeep. Came with a Dana 35, it's now got a Dana 44 off an American Jeep, so it's a little bit stronger. So yeah, with the 4.5-inch lift, it's got the upgraded springs for the lift and dampers. Now with this lift, most people have a slip yoke eliminator, but I ain't gonna buy one of those at the moment because they are quite expensive. So what I've done is I've added a limit chain. So I've made, there's a brackets made here, fastens to the top bolts here, and then there's a big chain that fastens to the body up there. So that means that no matter how much flex I have on, the axle will only drop down so far, and then it'll pivot either way, but this prop shaft will not come out of the transfer case. So if anyone wants a cheap way to stop the prop shaft coming out, make yourself a bracket and then get a limit chain fitted on, and that'll sort it out. So I've got the guard for the rear diff cover. Inside there I've also got a lunchbox locker, so once I give it the beans, then yeah, the diff locks up, sorry, the wheels lock up, and I can go most places. That's about it for the back. Okay, now in the back, I've got this setup which I've made myself. It might be temporary, I might change it, I haven't decided yet. So I've got two large drawers. Well, this one goes the whole length of what we can see there, so that's got things like spare water pump, what else we got on there, spare serpentine belt, spare thermostat radiator cap, some sensors, what else, a wheel hub and bearing, that's in there as well. Then I've got all my fluids in the middle that I could think of I might need when I'm out, so this goes all the way back to the back, so it's got all my fluids and other things I might need in. Then I've got my tooling in this one, torch, sockets, pliers, Allen keys, absolutely everything you can think of, spanners. And then also in the back I've got things like fuses, relays, electrical connectors, wire, so pretty much, so if anything happens I can usually get sorted and get home. And I've got two boxes fastened down. They're quite dirty because I was somewhere muddy last week. Yeah. So I've got straps, soft shackles in here, metal shackles, then in there I've got my kinetic rope. Got that in a bucket on its own because it takes up a bit of room and it does get quite dirty. This drawer here only goes back halfway because at home I've got another battery that's twice the size of the one that's on, which is going to be fitted underneath here, and then the battery will be removed out of the front underneath the bonnet, brought under the back here. So I've got more space under the bonnet, and I've got a 250 amp alternator I'm going to fit. It's not the one for the vehicle, but I'm going to adapt it to fit, so that'll help me when I'm winching people out. Yeah, so in the back here also, once the battery's in there, I'll add another fuse box so I can add more things as I want to, and probably take these side windows out, fill them in, or put lockers on the side of them, but there will be a partition separating the front from this area here. So there's still quite a bit to do on here, but things always keep being planned on what I can do to make it better. Okay, so now under the bonnet, again nothing much standard here, so I've added another electrical block here. So this is ignition live, so when my ignition's turned, it's turned on, all these connectors here are made live. So I've got my new horns because the original ones gave up the ghost. I've got 2 little air horns there, and then like I say, I can take other things off there as and when I want to. This is the battery which I'll be removing, and then I'll be replacing it with one in the back. That does not sound healthy, that Land Rover. So yeah, that alternator will be going as well. So the cooling system, I've got to come the other side. So I've got an alloy, I don't know if it's 2 or 3 core radiator, I forgot now. Aftermarket one, it's got 3 fans on it. So I've got 2 switches in the cab. So the first switch just turns on the cooling system, and this fan will run continuously, the first fan. The other 2 fans, when it does get up to temperature, or it needs to, the car will actually turn those fans on as and when it needs to. But I have got another switch, and it's wired so I can do this in the cab, whereas if I want to, I can override that and just have all 3 fans on if I want. Air filter, again, this won't be staying. It's made up at the moment, but what I'm going to be doing is making my own snorkel, and it'll go through the bulkhead here, come out the scuttle panel, and then it'll go up somewhere there. I haven't decided quite where, but yeah, this air filter won't be on for much longer. The washer bottle, again an aftermarket one, because the one under the wheel arch here, with all the flex, it did wear it away and it was leaking, so that really does need to come out because it isn't actually used. Cooling system also, I've got an uprated water pump on it, so I replaced the thermostat, so I also thought I might as well replace that. What else we got? The aircon doesn't work because I took the condenser off, so a lot of the things over there for the aircon could also be pulled out. That's about it really. Okay, I've also got poly bush engine mountings, and I've also got a poly gearbox mounting as well. So obviously that's underneath. Then also, you can't tell at the moment, but it has got a tubular stainless manifold on it, so it does help it breathe a bit better. I've seen a difference anyway. And it's got a standard downpipe on it. Let me go underneath. So it's got a standard downpipe, then the rest of it's homemade, stainless tube, sports cat, little, like you see the sports cat there, and a little silencer there. Then the exhaust just dips down before the back axle, so I think it's about 2.5, 3, I think it's 3 inch actually, but it does make it sound quite nice. Let's have a go. To it, and I do get quite a lot of people asking me, is that a V8? I say no mate, straight 6, 4 litre. But yeah, it does sound the business. So to finish off on the outside, I added a 52-inch curved LED light bar, which I'm really happy with. Certainly lights the road up or scares people coming the other way. Inside I've got some, once this guy comes back, sounds awful. Anyway, Honda Civic Type R seats, homemade subframe underneath, so they do still slide backwards and forwards but offer a lot more support. If I can find 2 more, then I'll be ripping out the back seats and putting 2 in the back as well. Flask there, most important thing, don't leave home without it. There's my little Jeep on the dashboard, little Olive, because my Jeep is named Olive. Then I've got a CB up there, so I can keep in touch. That little walkie-talkie is just for here, tickle. I do carry a bit of water with me, which is down there. Basically I've got quite a bit of kit with me just in case I need it, but everything else really inside is standard. Oh, there are my two little switches. So the one furthest away will knock the one fan on, and then if I don't want to wait for the other two fans to kick in automatically, I can flick that switch and all three fans come on. And it's been on for a few years now and never had a problem with it. It's never overheated. But then again, if I can keep an eye on my temperature gauge and see it going up, just flick the other switch on and then it'll cool it down sooner rather than later. I've got an alloy footrest down there along with all the other water bottles I've got. So that helps any passengers to keep themselves supported. And that, in a nutshell, is my Jeep. If anyone has any questions or wants to know anything about it, drop me a message or drop the page a message. And you alright, Keith? And yeah, just drop the channel a message and happy to answer. Over.